Leo, welcome to your month in review for April. I cannot believe we're already discussing April. I know. What's up? What's going on? Like always, take what resonates, leave what does not, yeah? These are, after all, general collective readings, not one-to-one private. Which is to say they may not resonate. Normal. Frustrating, but normal. If that's the case, check other placements. You will find yourself in there somewhere. What's going on, please? Show me Leo in April. Show me Leo in April. Show me Leo in April. What's going on? Show me Leo in April, please. All right. Entering the month. King of Wands. That's you. Knights of Wands. The Wheel of Fortune. Yeah. All right. Keeping on. Six of Wands. Page of Cups. The Seven of Swords. Interesting. Okay. In that respect, being inconsistency with Leo's energy, if we can't have confidence in it, probably not. Let's keep going. Ace of Swords, the Star, and Death. Okay. It's looking like we are exiting a vision and or dream in the future. I don't want that to upset you or scare you. It's by choice. Ace of Swords represents knowledge, conscious. It's that one hard, sittering truth, right? That kind of tosses away any other thought. So that means that truth is coming from you. Something important, the star. You're saying that star is fading. But you know this. Overall, you're looking very much like yourself, very much in command of who you are and what you're about. You're showing me confidence, and it's earned. It's well earned. You're also showing me natural playfulness, passionate, light energy. That Knight of Wands being, of course, your personal pony. Your own particular knight, literally. As the King of Wands denotes, and the Wheel of Fortune. You getting to know who you are through your own particular process is here, okay? Now, over here is where we get interesting feedback. Six of Wands, Page of Cups, Seven of Swords. Now, because I can see that your confidence for you is important in terms of your energetic processes and how it influences you and the decisions you make, you're saying if you can't have confidence about a particular thought, decision, or feeling, you don't engage with it. And I see that there's a proposal here for a Page of Cups, and you're going Seven of Swords. I don't know about that. And that's coming from a place of knowing thyself. That's the idea. We should all be so in touch with ourselves that we know ourselves well enough about what it is we will and will not do or participate in, right? And then in the future, I see you making an absolute decision. It's a strong one, too. That's not casual at all. Ace of Swords, the Star of the Death. It's like you're saying, you know what, I'm done with something. It used to mean a lot to me, and perhaps it still does, but I am consciously choosing to part ways with it. Whew, okay. All right, let's do it. Let's talk about it. We're going to start right there. The King of Wands. I may not clarify all of these, as some of them do indeed speak for themselves, but we're going to go ahead and start with you. I want to see what you're looking like on the inside, right? Your King of Wands energy is beautiful. It's apparent today. Let's see that King of Wands. Well, as we enter the month of April specifically, a general sense of feeling good and feeling like you. And that's always a good thing. Let's see that King of Wands. Show me that King of Wands. Show me that King of Wands. Unless you're fibbing. But no, you look like you. Leo looks like Leo right here. Let's see that King of Wands, please. Two of Wands. Ah, ha, 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 ha. King of Cups, eh? Oh, my. Oh, my. Oh, my, yes, there it is. Death twice, King of Cups. Some of you might have some very prominent Scorpio in your chart. Wow. Two of Wands, Death, King of Cups. Even at the beginning of April, you're saying you have a decision. You're aware of it. I don't see the decision being absolutely made until future or further out in April. Okay, not too far away. But it was on your mind literally at the beginning of the month. That means it's sitting with you now. There's no way this isn't in your mind and in your heart now. It's not an absolute direction, but just saying, because I know myself right now, here, whilst we are in March, going into April, you're saying this is with you. You're in tune with it. You're aware of it. You understand that there's a decision here, and it has, in respect to do with love. Is it there? The ownership of it. The King of Cups saying, I know my heart space. Leo. King of Cups talking to you. I know my heart space. Leo. We know our heart space. there's something in us that we're not feeling anymore. Isn't that the truth, Leo? And you say, yeah, that's why we're thinking about it. That's why we're trying to feel our way through it. But we don't have an absolute decision on this. What this represents, I don't know. But the Leo I'm looking at, you 100% know. If you resonate with this reading, just with the first clarifier, first card, the Leo I'm looking at knows. And you're nodding your head. You're going, that's correct. That's what's happening for me right now. My most King of Wands self, my most fulfilled heart understands that there's a decision here, and it's an uncomfortable one, about what looks like an ending. I can feel it in my heart. I can feel it in my natural self. We don't dispute it, but we're looking at it. Okay? We're feeling it specifically. Is ending something here the right thing to do? Because the King of Cups saying, part of the emotional responsibility package, by the way, is understanding things like death here. That doesn't mean we're happy about it. But the mature self, as your two kings would suggest, would say, we feel this though. And there's no denying it. So the Leo I'm looking at, like I said, if you resonate, you already know what's up. Let's see that Knights of Wands, please. Let's see that Knight of Wands. So you're telling me at the very beginning of April, you already know this is kind of a big deal, okay? Let's see that Knight of Wands. Show me that Knight of Wands. Let's see that Knight of Wands, please. Justice, the Wheel of Fortune, Knight of Pentacles. Yeah. You've been showing me an overall process. This has been going on for some time, months, seasons, possibly years. The Wheel of Fortune is here twice with the slow, steady-paced energy that is the Knight of Pentacles over your Knight of Wands. So this has been a slow-moving direction for you, but now that it's kind of caught up to you in your present form, specifically in April, it's kind of like saying, this is here and it's always been here, Justice. It's me, though. It's me that's coming to terms with it now. Okay? So you understanding your particular direction, movement, your confidence around it, and even the pathway, realistically in the 3D. It's almost like saying, everything I've been experiencing these past, and I agree with you, months, seasons, possibly even years for some of you. The thought here is almost literally, everything I've been experiencing has been leading up to this moment. I wasn't crazy. I felt it was heading this direction. But you're not scared. And that's the beautiful thing of it. That's why I admire this so much. You're not scared by it. You're arriving to a natural conclusion, and it's a strong one. And I'm not saying it was a field of flowers trying to arrive to it. I'm just saying the peaceful acceptance within you, with justice here, that powerful thought, I was always headed in this direction, huh? This is how it was going to be, wasn't it? Wasn't it, Leo? We knew it was heading this direction. Yes, Leo, it was. So that's why I'm seeing such a dignity around this, a huge sense of dignity around this, for the self, the maturity of self, in terms of feeling and honoring our direction and justice here. This is the correct direction, isn't it? Yeah. I don't know how long it took you to arrive at Wheel of Fortune's here twice, honey. You could have spun that thing in many different directions. But Leo, I'm looking at you, honored your truth and your own sense of feeling that guided you up until this moment and into April. With a sense of whatever this direction is, no matter how complicated this particular ending is, there's a steadiness around you, steady hand. It says part of you can take confidence in this direction when you understood it was always headed this way. And that suggests foresight on a difficult but long pathway based on feeling and, again, mature sense of self and where we're going and why we are trying to achieve what we're trying to achieve at all. And I know it's all terribly vague, but what I'm saying is by April, there's an accumulative effect here of what's correct for you based on time, the willingness to understand and see it for what it is, accept it, but also kind of saying, P.S., it couldn't have been any other way. So like I said, an appreciation for time, balance, structure, movement, flow, honoring your feelings and thoughts that put you into a position to look at something and feel something correctly. There's no fragmentation. There's no denial here. It was always headed in this direction, wasn't it? I'm going to go ahead and skip that Wheel of Fortune since it's already here. Let's jump on it. So that's a very powerful opening for April for you. So I see the decision of it. This is the pathway I was on. It was always leading up to this moment in time. And there's the execution of it. In April. Whichever that is, guys. It doesn't always have to be a romantic thing. I just know it's something that's deeply personal to you and affects your heart space, sense of self, and direction. And you're kind of almost admiring it. Okay. You're almost kind of admiring it. It couldn't have ended. Or I couldn't even be thinking about ending it. Not participating in more if I haven't given this the thoughtful consideration that it needed. Honoring and respecting myself along the way as best I could. It couldn't have been any other way. And it's I admire that a great deal. I do. I wish I had more time for that. That might be interesting. I might go back and try to extract more details from it just because I'm curious. Ultimately, it's going to come down to the individual Leo at the end of the day, but I am kind of curious about that particular process and what led you up to it. It's quite admirable. It's the gentle and obvious rightful conclusion to a difficult subject. Let's see that Six of Wands, please. Let's see that Six of Wands. Let's see that Six of Wands. The Lovers, the Fool, the Moon. Ah, not quite yet, but oh my. There's something in you, surrounding you, that says not yet, but maybe. It's a powerful something too. My, you're packing lots of heat today, honey. Lots of energy within you, around you, as your life is shifting and changing. Correctly, I might point out, correctly. Okay? We'll see what this is, obviously, down here. But that aside, there's something in you that you are very aware of that's within you. It actually makes you feel incredibly good. But it's private. It's an incredibly private, feel-good energy. And you're like, I know. So the Leo I'm looking at, this is not a surprise to you. Again, you have such a strong disposition around you. And acceptance. It couldn't have been any other way, etc. I know I'm going on and on, but I think it's very admirable. That's why I like it so much. I don't actually know what the subject matter is yet, but we'll get there. So the Six of Wands, the Lovers, the Fool, the Moon. Oh, to be a fool for the lover, eh? And you're like, I know, just not right now. And I see you do that sometimes, and it's sweet. So you have this private feeling, very private feeling and knowledge of a strong connection. Maybe one day, just not today. Whether or not you know who they are specifically, I don't know. Right now, I am defaulting to a very private hope within you that makes you feel radically good. So on the outside is Six of Wands. It puts a little, when you think about the idea of the Lovers and whatever that means to you, be it a specific person or not, just a general concept of, it says inwardly, the Moon, Christina, I really like the idea of having a powerful connection. That's just for me. That's just mine. But not yet. I'm gonna. The Fool would blast that Moon wide open. Okay. But for now, you're saying it's enough to kind of secretly feel good about it. So I think what I'm seeing in you is powerful motivation that may come into play later in your life. Not necessarily April. It kind of depends on when that Fool is allowed to come out and express himself. You know, look at that. Look at that. 3 majors over a little old 6 of Wands. This little 6 of Wands is just like, that's what 6 of Wands is, guys. You know, it's the recognition. It's a kind of manageable high, if you will, about confidence and just feeling good and feeling seen for either a job well done, or it can also represent passion in terms of flirtation. It can represent many things, but of course it can go into a place of ego too. It just depends on what we do with it. The way I am seeing your 6 of Wands today is that it really authentically makes you feel good to privately reflect on opening up to a strong connection. Again, you may or may not know that person. You might just really strongly desire a lover's connection. Okay? So we'll see if that comes back up later. That's lovely. Okay. I also see it over here. Not yet. But there might be more than one reason why. So I'm going to go ahead and take a look at that little, you know, Page of Cups. It's just so unassuming that Page of Cups is. But because we are keeping this kind of like a secret blooming knowledge and feeling within us, that puts a little extra giddy up in our step, if you will. I'm actually kind of curious about that little Page of Cups. Okay, let's take a look at that. Let's see that Page of Cups, please. Let's see that Page of Cups, little Page of Cups. Oh, but those pages, let me tell you, honey, they can get up to some shenanigans. Okay, let's see that Page of Cups. Let's see that Page of Cups, please, for Leo. Seven of Cups, 9 of Swords, 10 of Cups. Oh, I see. I see. Okay. Yeah. Again, you're showing me more of a delayed effect, but it's also by choice. And that's one of the things that's on your mind. Excuse me. I apologize. Okay. And that's one of the things that's on your mind, and specifically within your heart, is that, like I said, that beautiful secret knowledge in you that kind of, that's gorgeous. You feel compelled to open up towards it in some way, but it's also saying not yet. 7 of Cups, 9 of Swords, 10 of Cups. There's a kind of worry in here or a stress that now's not the time to open up towards it as much as you would like to. There is a concern here about emotional expanse. Is it the right time? Would they, or whoever that strong connection is or represents, would they be open to something fuller? You know, am I personally capable of opening up towards this now? And the answer is no, but you would like to be. So the idea of you trying to engage with it right now, it's like your heart saying, not yet, not yet, not yet. You're saying you do want it to go places, and you do want to be considered to emotional expanse for this, but you're saying there's too much worry surrounding it right now. So the heart's not available to it yet, I don't believe. And the mind knows this with the 9 of Swords, and it kind of stresses us out because we wish we could take it from a kind of like our personal little happy secret, a strong feeling of where we'd like to take our lives in the personal sense, but you're also saying not yet. Okay. There's a plan in there. There's even kind of an emotional plan, but you're saying, oh, shucks, I'm not in a position to open up towards this yet. Again, it may not be anyone specific, just the very strong desire of a strong connection, and that can be enough to maybe float you in that sense of, you know. So I don't know if it's specifically tied to one person. You didn't show me that. You're saying there's the strong hope and feeling there, you know, that one day we can open up to this. Dang it, today's not that day. All right. So 7 of Swords, I think that kind of speaks for itself. I do, but we can go ahead and take a look at it. Of course, you're leaning away from it. You're saying you have your reasons, and I believe you. You're saying now's not the time. And as much as you would love to unfold into something so beautiful and emotionally comprehensive that this could possibly afford as a 10 of Cups, you keep saying now's not the time. And that's where the stress is coming from, because you want it to be time. Like I said, that Fool wants to blast open. You want it to be time, but it's not time. According to this Leo, you're saying it's not time, and you have your reasons, you know. But you already have something rather sizable on your mind, and more specifically in your energy and in your heart and in your pathway, that is requiring the bulk of your attention. Okay, so can I see why you've understandably kind of tucked that away gently under the moon? Yeah. Like I said, I think this is motivation to propel you into the future. It's not a given for April, no. I can see that it's with you. But it's, again, it's almost like a motivation. When this is done, whatever that represents, maybe this, Christina, maybe this, okay? But yeah, this is going to require the bulk of your energies right here, okay? And I'm like you, honey, one thing at a time. Which is ironic because I very much am a multitasker, but when it comes to the big stuff, you're like, you know what? One big stuff item thing at a time. Thank you. I got you. I understand. I got it. Some people can handle, well, there's this big thing and there's this big thing and I've got it all going. Awesome. I personally can't do it. Let's see that Seven of Swords. Let's see that Seven of Swords. Let's see that Seven of Swords. There's multitasking and then there's life paths and major decisions, and honey, I can navigate one at a time, you know what I'm saying? Let's see that Seven of Swords. Show me that Seven of Swords. Show me that Seven of Swords. So, of course, we're leading away from this. You understand the emotional demands that this would ask for or require of you if you opened up to it. You're saying, I can't be in that space as much as I want to be. Otherwise, Christina, I'd be right in there. I got you. You don't got to defend yourself, honey. I see it. All right. Queen of Cups, the Ace of Swords. Oh, strength. Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. You got two strong truths in you. Oh, boy, you got a couple of big items on your agenda, honey. You got two life path things going on. One's closing out. One wants to open up badly. And I understand. But you're saying I'm not in a position to open up to that second life path. I know. You can't have more than one truth. And I'm looking at one that wants to close and I'm looking at one that wants to open. You have your reasons for both. I'm just confirming what you're experiencing. That's it. This one, though, this took time to build up into a particular truth that it couldn't have headed in any particular direction except this. And I'm seeing that down here. But this one, you made this decision, by the way. Ace of Swords. You made that decision in your heart. I see it in your mind. It gives you some level of confidence and comfort to know that it's kind of with you as motivation for the future. Just not right now. I got it. And the Queen of Cups, Ace of Swords, strength, that's you. Literally, you signed off on this one. You're saying you can't engage in that particular heart space. It's not that you don't want to. You're saying now's not the time. Big difference. Seven of Swords. I'm glad I took the extra minute to clarify that. You told me why. As much as you like the idea of it, you're saying you can't fully throw yourself into it emotionally. That's why you, Leo, right here, that's your power card, honey. Ace of Swords, Queen of Cups, saying, I've made the conscious decision to lean away from that. Did you notice that you have a King of Cups trying to authorize death? And that you have a Queen of Cups here that's trying to authorize love? You got a big old heart space, honey. Huge. And you're trying to be responsible with it. That's all I'm seeing. I still don't quite know what this is. We're going to take a look at that. Like I said, you clearly have more than one distinct truth. One of them represents motivation for the future. One of them represents a sense of diligence that needs to be done today. Make sense? Okay. But yeah, it's, you got a lot on you, honey. But I like this. Again, you're showing me a conscientious Leo here in terms of I make decisions and I stand by them. So as much as I'd like to open up towards this, I know now's not the time. Okay. I say good on you. I say good on you. There is a stress here about the emotional expanse. I want to get in there. I don't want to get in there too late. But you're still saying I have my reasons. Now's not the time. Okay. Now let's jump on down here. Ace of Swords, Star, the Death. Oh boy. We got a lot going on here today. Okay. Show me this Ace of Swords, please. Okay, Judgment, Four of Wands. There it is, Knight of Swords. Okay, so you have a lesson here. Okay, lesson as well as judgment, literally judgment call. Okay, and it's a powerful one. Yeah, you know. Four of Wands, the Knight of Swords. It's the Swords. There's the other decision I'm saying today, in case there's any confusion. It represents relationship energy. that we are taking action towards, that we've made a decision on. We opened up with a decision. Now I'm seeing the action towards the decision. Then I'm seeing the finalization of that decision. Are we all on course? This is a lesson brought into you, okay, about taking action in the way that you understand is your truth. Okay? That doesn't mean it's the easiest thing. You did open up strongly, just in case I didn't emphasize that enough, with this couldn't have been any other way. That doesn't mean, like I said, though, that you were running through a field of flowers about it. Okay? It's a strong truth. And you're saying it's on you to take responsibility towards this. I believe I'm saying you're trying to leave your emotion out of it. You're saying this is something I must do, or it must be done, regardless of how anyone feels about it. You opened up with your feelings towards it. But taking action towards it and finalizing your thought, remember the Ace of Swords isn't just a thought, guys. It's also action. The Knight of Swords bears it. Okay? Which is why he's not my favorite for handling emotions, but in this respect, he shouldn't be. You've already done that on your opening. Okay? Having to do things like these with a certain sense of it's on me, I'm going to take actions towards this. Obviously, it's not going to be fun for anyone else who's involved, and whatever that Four of Wands represents to you doesn't necessarily have to be marriage, guys. It represents some sort of contractual relationship, which is defined by at least two people. Okay? Let's jump on over to the star, please. Let's jump on over to that star. How long that process will take, I could not say. Some of you might be separating, I must say, physically in April. Yes. But what led up to it, I'm siding with you on this, just in case there's any, so long as you're on the same page with you, and you're making decisions to the best of your abilities because you understand it's correct for you, intellectually, emotionally, and spiritually, then I want you to do what's correct for you, as your Knight of Swords would suggest. That doesn't mean it's a fun task. But so long as you're living authentically, and you were acting as such, you showed me no fragmentation. You showed me a need to not engage in this. Okay, it's private to you until you can act upon it later. Okay? Like I said, it feels like future motivation for you. All right? Now, let's see that star. Let's see that star. That's the only time I saw fragmentation, but again, it's with the idea of I need to keep this to myself because I'm not in a position to engage with it. In other words, it looks like a normal human process. All right, let's see that star, please. Let's see that star. Show me that star. Show me that star. Show me that star, please. Let's call it meaningful motivation, backed up with, but this is where I'm at currently. Show me that star, please. Show me that star. The Fool, the Ace of Cups, the Queen of Swords. Yes, yes. It's interesting. It's interesting. You're showing me the duality of some of the cards here today, what they can represent on either side of the fence. How you've interpreted the Ace of Swords, how you interpreted your King, Queen of Cups. You really listen to yourself, and you seem to understand and appreciate energy on both sides. Okay. You are opening up towards exiting a star. Again, something that no longer you reach towards or it pulls towards you or you towards it. Queen of Swords, Eight of Cups, you are adamant that you are walking away from this, and it might be taking a risk, but you're saying it's a risk you're willing to take. Like I said, I just see you insisting on separating yourself from whatever constitutes that Four of Wands. It's a process. When you separate from stars and you separate from Four of Wands, they no longer obviously have the same meaning. That's the trouble with stars. They can be much more impactful than, say, the sun. They say the sun's the happiest card in the deck, and I don't dispute that, but you can experience it any day. And it's a lovely feeling. But the star is what really drives human beings in terms of long-term desires and goals. Longevity. It takes a lot of willpower to constantly reach for a star because it means something to you, not necessarily everyone else like the sun would. Happiness is happiness, and you can step outside your front door to experience it. The star, however, is not so easy. It takes a lot of work, which means it takes an equal amount of work to disentangle yourself from it when you understand that star is no longer for you, the star has burnt out, or you no longer have the same motivation you once did to pursue it because you yourself have changed personally. So yeah, I'm seeing what looks like a disentangling process, and it's heavily oriented towards April. I wouldn't just completely encapsulate it to April. I call it spring. Okay? But I'm seeing the physical separation. Okay? And it's going to take a minute. But I see that Queen of Swords. Some of you have some really prominent air. I mean, very prominent air. Particularly maybe Libra, Aquarius. I also said Scorpio. Goodness me. Imagine that if you're a triple, quad fixed. Ooh, the only player we're missing here today, guys, is Taurus. But that determination to move forward, to move on, to do this cleanly, leave the emotions out of it. Your Fool is aching to take off on a new journey, but for now, he has to settle for taking a risk on separating from the star. Okay. And it is a risk, guys. Everything's a risk. Like I said, I'm looking at a Leo who understands, so perhaps you practice tarot or you watch a lot of it, that you understand that the Fool can work both ways. You understand the Ace of Swords can work both ways, etc. So what it is that you're saying you need to close off from, you can also open up to. Good. Good. Very good. All right, let's see that death. Let's see that death, please. Ten of Wands, the Devil, Page of Wands, warning. There will be a great deal of resistance. It's not coming from you. I'm sorry. Okay. You show me this is what I have to do. I've made up my mind. I'm separating from it. What it is you're trying to separate from does not want to separate from you. There will be a fight, and I'm sorry. You insisting upon death, in your mind and in your energy, there should be no fight. There is a great deal. Part of you will be tempted to hang back and not finish it or finalize it because it's going to weigh heavily or push back against you quite heavily. Whatever it is you're trying to separate from is putting up a hell of a fight. It's a pattern that you have personally come to recognize, so it's not a surprise to you at all. You expected this. You expected this. But you also are like doing your best not to participate in it. However, there's going to be a part of you that's tempted to hang back because it's going to get into a place of high tension. High tension. I know you tried to keep it clean. This is what I have to do. This is my decision. I'm standing behind it. You even showed me the willingness to be emotionless towards this. Just shut this thing down. Shut it down. It's not for me anymore. I see that now. You opened up with that beautifully and so powerfully. I want you to keep the essence of that feeling with you, because when I'm telling you, you're going to receive a lot of pushback. It's patternized. You know the reaction is going to be resistance to the highest degree. You know it's going to be arguing, and it's going to fall back into a devilish pattern with whatever it is you're trying to separate from. Okay? Part of you will be tempted to open up towards that pattern because you know it. You're very familiar with it. And the way that negativity comes rolling in, even though you want it to be done, part of you is tempted to fight back. Okay? And then maybe even give in. I think death is so much bigger than this. Okay? It will end, and as much as they push back, it's just reinforcing how you're opening and how you were correct. I agree with you. It couldn't have been any other way. So there was no wonder that you were pointing out to me specifically, I have to act on this, I have to make the decision, I have to shut the emotions down, because you anticipated a fight, most likely a patternized fight of resistance. That doesn't mean it gets better. That doesn't mean anybody in there, whoever is in there, is fighting for the right reasons, specifically love or the material world. It's just you expected for there to be a horrible feeling and a horrible reaction. The bigger part of you that is death and has accepted this ending knows that it's going to have to push past that. I agree with your operating method, the way you trying to shut your emotions down. I can see why. Okay. Like I said, this is future motivation for another day. I have not seen beyond this. It's still a quiet, secret place in you that gives you hope. This is enough for you to be working with over the course of April. Okay. I am sorry that the reaction is so intense and so swift. You're going to have to really block that desire to fight back, to argue, to push back, or to make any sort of winning points that are patternized in terms of aggression and deep fears, etc. I feel like whatever this is knows how to push your buttons. Okay. And that's one of the reasons why you're showing me I'm going to keep a cool, level head about this, and I will not get emotionally involved. It's no wonder you're showing me it's on me. It's on me to do this. Yeah, I bet. Okay. Growth. Summer. Crossroads. I'm actually interpreting this as last summer. Not this summer. Last summer. Some of you had what we might call a spiritual growth spurt last summer. Okay? And it kind of put a stake in the ground about a crossroads in your life. And when we're presented with crossroads as human beings, we can often take our time with it. Very rarely is a crossroad at that level figured out in 24 hours. Some of you stood at the crossroads for a year, possibly more or less. But I think last summer for some of you were imperative. And you had quite the hell of a spiritual growth spurt when you stopped at those crossroads. Decision, acting on the decision. Okay. Counsel and therapy. Many of you have gone into that. Perhaps that is your vocation as well. Meaningful coincidences. There are no meaningful coincidences here, although that is Jungian in nature. Meaningful coincidences, what we would call coincidences, or really not coincidences, right? Synchronicities. Stuff that's a little bit too on the nose. Right? That can't be a coincidence. That's correct. About self-love, and what does that mean? Your King and Queen of Cups, you have such a beautiful heart. One area you've been trying very hard to listen to for some time, particularly in the acceptance at a mature level, that this indeed was always headed in this direction. That takes heart to understand that. And it takes heart to understand that you want more for yourself and you hope more for yourself, but now is not the time. Those are both levels of emotional maturity. Okay. But anyway, and that comes back down to self-love, knowing what's correct for you. All right. Okay. Let's see here. Oh, sure. Okay. Marriage. Stuck. For some of you, like I said, just relationship energy. All right. The oracles are meant to be taken as a bridge point between the main stories. So again, it may or may not apply to you, but marriage and the anchor feeling stuck to this. Okay. Dependency, false dependencies, codependencies. Okay. You have the key to this. You always did. Specifically, you have the key to your own heart and your own sense of love, and your own sense of direction and or destiny is tied to you. Numbers 3, 35, 33, and 42. Okay. Leo, honey, I hope this helped you. Put in the comments as you see fit. Take care. Be well.